Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to First and Ted. I'm Ted H6 of Ted Talks Ball. And of course, with me every Wednesday at 3:30 p.m. Pacific, 6:30 Eastern, the wonderful Mr. Aaron Labigan of 49ers First Takes. Aaron, how are you doing on this fine hump day?
Oh, we're doing good. We're doing good. We've got 49ers football coming on Sunday. The weather's still nice. It's fall time in the Northeast, so I like fall, at least early fall before it gets really cold. So it's like cool and you can keep the windows open and stuff. So life's pretty good. I feel like we're gonna have a spirited discussion if we talk about Brock Purdy, so I'm always down for it.
Oh, there might be some of that, but let's not get to it too
Let's not
soon here.
totally focus on that.
Yeah, well, let's look at people get here too, so that so they don't miss it. Any of the fun, the fireworks,
Right.
the spice, what have you. And maybe I'll just be calm and even keeled and not lose my ever loving mind. We'll see.
We'll
That would be a
see.
first. That would be a first. We got Brian Culp in the house. He was here early
I saw that.
with the pineapples. Thanks, Brian. Yeah, I screwed up and I had it set for 3:30 a.m. until just a few minutes ago. So that may have hurt us a little bit.
Yeah, you know what? That's why on my side it was like it said like something was off with the time, and I'm like, what the heck? So
Yeah,
yeah, I
that
switched it up.
that'll probably mess us up some. But let's see. It looks like some people are filtering in here. So yes, we got Bryant early. We had Beto early. He came in around noon. So have a great show, my friend. I assume he's talking to you. Uh, he came in on your channel. And then we got Frank Tom Ocean in the house. He's saying, "Aaron, let's go."
That's one of my favorite people in the whole freaking world. Bring
Hey,
Tom
yeah,
Ocean. Long
he's great.
time.
He's great.
What's
No
going
doubt
on,
about
my
it.
man, Frank?
We got Jimmy Prez in the house. Says, "What's up, Ted and Aaron?" Not much. Jimmy, glad to have you here. We got Jason Niners Smash Massey, Talofa Faithful, his usual greeting
What's up, dog?
for being here. CB Nut Tray, yo. So Curtis is a Chiefs fan,
Hmm.
but don't hold that against him. It's not his fault. He's
Hey,
just
man.
from
I
that part of the
can't
country.
listen. I ain't
Uh,
a Chiefs fan, and I don't like the fact that they beat us in the Super Bowl. But you got to give them their flowers. Unfortunately, even if I don't want to, at least they don't cheat like the Patriots. So.
Not that we know of. We'll see. Sometimes those things come out later. But yeah, no, the Chiefs are legit, especially now that they got Chris Jones back.
What a
He's a
difference. What
monster
a
in the middle
difference.
there. Absolutely. Uh, say TNA, heck yeah. Ted and
My
Aaron.
favorite
Oh.
2 things in the world. Oh, wait, what are we talking about? No, I'm just
I
kidding. I'm kidding.
didn't
Kidding.
realize that we were
Maybe
TNA.
not.
How's it been this many episodes and we never figured that out? That's good. That's good.
Dude. Yeah, we could totally go R-rated with our intro or our setup here. The
Damn,
TNA
yeah.
show. People will come in here thinking they're gonna get something and be like, "Oh, they're talking football?"
Brown chicken, brown cow. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Curtis says he was on the Rich Eisen show today. Well, damn, man, send me some clips.
That's awesome.
Post
That's
it up
awesome.
on Twitter and at me to it. I will promote it for you, Curtis. That's really cool news. Curtis has been on the show before a few times, I
What was he?
believe.
Were you in the audience?
No. He's been on. He's as a Chiefs expert.
Oh, I didn't know who that was. Oh, well, welcome to the freaking stream, brah.
Yeah,
You're like
yeah,
legit stuff. Huh.
yeah. So yeah,
Well, you
that's
could we'll just have it. You will have you on if we ever play the Chiefs again. You could just talk the whole stream.
there you go. No doubt about it. Laura Cat in the house saying, "Hola, Ted and Aaron. Great to see
Hello.
you. Great to see you too, Laura Cat." Uh, like the midweek stream. Yeah, this is when we try to do it. Wednesdays at 3:30, 6:30 Eastern. That's right. We don't cheat. There you go.
Not
The
yet.
Chiefs,
I'm just
that
kidding. Kidding.
is.
Kidding.
Yeah. And then we got Chris saying, I was first caller in the third hour. Not sure how to cut the podcast to post it though. Oh, well, yeah. I mean, if it's a podcast, you can clip it. And then you just do clip and you clip like a minute. Hopefully it's not more than a minute. And then you can get a link for it, and then you can put that into Twitter. I think you can also maybe make a short out of it. You kind of have to do it where it's like one of those things where you're supposed to speak over it, and you just don't speak over it. Like I pointed the phone at the ceiling, and then that way, like, it doesn't get my head in there or anything, and you can do a full minute, I think, short that way of someone else's show. That's what I've done before in the past.
When I make shorts, I just block the camera usually with one of my big meaty hands, and
Pause.
I then pause, and then I usually have like a picture or something over it, and then I use a background. It depends. Like I don't know how to do it on TikTok. I know Breezy has these things where he does videos with a background and then a video over the top, and he's able to kind of do. I don't know how he does it. As much as I am down with technology, TikTok, I'm still trying to figure out. Hey, I wanted to say something real quick. So all of
Yeah.
you, like you, Laura Cat, Bashar, Brian Culp, everybody's either met or gotten close to meeting or been at games, been at training camp. I was talking to a coworker today about like I've never been on a plane, and he was telling me how to deal with my anxiety. And he was like, "You could sit in first class. You have a little more time, room." And I'm just like, I got to do it. Like, my brother keeps talking like, "You're not gonna do it, you're not gonna do it, you're not gonna do it." I'm like, "Everybody's like, they want me to come to the West Coast." And I was like so jealous, but in a good way. Like everybody got to chill and meet Steve Young, and I was just like, "Oh my god." So one of these days, these are my meaty digits.
We'll make it happen. We'll make it happen. Paul Hope in the house. Wow, it's getting late over there in the UK, coming
What
up
up,
on midnight.
chaps?
What's up, Paul? Thanks for joining. Oh, Laura's saying big meaty hands. Oh boy.
More the palms, more the palms. I could do a slap, but I could do the
Same
slap
here.
hand. Yeah, I'm all palms here. I don't have long fingers.
No,
If I
me
was to
neither.
do, I could do slap box or the slap fighting. I have really heavy hands.
Paul's counting down to the Bucks game. He'll be here with Lee Galland in the gold mine. I'll be joining them there on my first ever time going to the gold mine at Levi's. So excited to do
Wait,
that.
we're playing the Bucks this year?
Yeah, at
Totally
Levi's.
forgot.
The whole
Oh, that's
whole
awesome.
whole NFC South.
That's right. Oh, that's
Indeed.
right, because we play the Vikings. Hey, everybody, real quick. I know this is Ted's
Or maybe
hosting,
it's
but
not. Maybe it's
don't
not the whole
forget
AFC NFC South. Let me just see here.
don't forget to
We,
like the show. Drop a like in because it helps people find us, either
well,
now or
yeah,
after
yeah.
the
I
show.
mean, this is where we should do the thing of like, hey, we're on both channels.
Yeah.
If you're on my channel, make sure you pop over to Aaron's, give him a like and subscribe. Same thing if you're on his, come on over to mine, like and subscribe. If you're on a browser, open up two tabs, mute one, watch us both at the same time, get us those view hours. Or if you're on a phone, you could always use a secondary device like a tablet to watch two shows at once. It really helps us. So thanks in advance for your help on that. No, we do not play the NFC South. I was wrong about that. That must be just a weird one-off that we have the Bucks. Because we don't play any other NFC South teams. It's NFC East, and
We played. Do we play? We don't play the North. We do play the
no, just the
Vikings.
Vikings. So it's just the Vikings. How am I not figuring this out? I guess it's the AFC North, NFC East, and AFC North. Because we've got Steelers, Bengals, Ravens, Browns. That's it.
I feel like we could beat anybody in the AFC North this year. It
I
depends
mean,
on the game.
the Ravens is a tricky one because of those rest days.
Yeah, and
Remember
also the fact
we're
that
going to be roughly 29 days of rest ahead of us by Christmas Day.
she says I could be your emotional. Oh, that would mean a lot. Yeah, I'm really bad on anxiety going across the country. That would really. I'd have to be pilled out of my mind and inebriated just to not be nervous and have anxiety attacks. Yeah, I have really bad social anxiety, so like that would be tough. My brother's like, you're not going to do it. And I'm like, I want to really bad. I would. You know what I need to have somebody inoculate me, knock me out, put me in a suitcase or a big piece of luggage carrier, go, and just wake me up when I get there. But yeah,
Wrap you in bubble wrap.
yeah, I'm really fragile. I'm a really big guy, but I'm really fragile.
There you go. So, Aaron, what did you want to start with today? I mean, with 49ers stuff. I mean, there's a lot to
Man,
talk about. There's obviously
there's
the
a lot to
game.
talk about. I feel
There's a
like
lot of NFL stuff to talk about outside of the Niners.
let's talk about the fact that I am slightly worried that this is a trap game because the Cardinals are given no shot by anybody, but they've played surprisingly well so far. for a team that's supposedly quote unquote tanking.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that I'm worried that the Niners will lose, but I mean, it's one of those situations where, like, I know as fans, some of us like to pass over certain teams and think, oh, we're going to talk about the Cowboys. It's like we haven't played the Cardinals yet. And I made a mistake of doing that the other day, and then I was quickly corrected. I think I was streaming with Breezy, and he's like, take us out. And I was like, we have a chance to be 5-0. And, da, 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 da. And somebody in the comments while I was doing my little spiel was like, yo, bro, don't pass over the Cardinals. And I like thought about what I said, and I'm like, yeah, he's probably right. So yeah, let's to me, the biggest thing with the Cardinals is that they can run the ball really well. And we've done really good so far running the ball and or stopping the run, but I would like to see it. We've had some issues with their running back. I forget his name. He's
James
he's
Conner.
he's tore us up a couple times. So be interesting what the Niners can do. Like I said, it's a home game. I expect the offense to play well. You wonder if the Cardinals are going to take a page out of the Giants playbook and blitz Brock Purdy to death. Because, I think I was really kind of caught up in the whole, like, wow, Brock's really struggling. Brock's really struggling until I realized that they blitzed him like 85% of the time. So he was pretty much doing what all you could do, which is screen it to death, screen it to death, screen it to death. So, like, if that's the case, it's a little nerve wracking because it, it I don't want it to be like this all the time now. I want to see the offense flourish, but it might have also had to do with Brandon Ayuk not being there too. So, we'll see. Brandon Ayuk definitely matters. He definitely matters. I will say that. He's our purest route running player, and it was tough not to have him against the New York Giants. I've been watching Aaron since before he showed his face. Yup. He was like dude from Home Improvement, the one who's, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I never showed my ugly ass face. I would
The
just
neighbor.
go, yeah, I was Mr. Not Mr. Anderson. I forget his name. You just see like the top of his head. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally forgot his name too. But as far as the Cardinals go, real quick, let's get to Laura Trap here. It says, please define a trap game. I only know of a trap house. Oh boy. Yeah, let's stay clear of those. So trap game, Laura Cat, is where you're playing a weak opponent this week. Like, a lot of people feel like the Cardinals are weak, but I'll get back to that. I don't want to go. Let's stick with the trap game. So you got this weak team on your schedule, and then next week you've got the Dallas Cowboys, who many prior to the season, including myself, thought might be one of our biggest tests of the season. Again, we'll talk more about that here in a minute. But ultimately, you're like looking ahead to week 5, and you don't concentrate enough on week 4, and that week 4 opponent gets jacked up and they beat you, and that's a trap game. You got trapped by a weak team while you were worrying about the big one down the road, usually the very next week, essentially.
Yep.
So that's how I define a trap game.
And you could end up losing both, and then all of a sudden you're 3-2. So to me, it's like the Niners it's such cliche to say one game at a time, but that's literally, especially if you're the Niners this year, you have to literally take every game as a one game Super Bowl because it's
Well, and then
it's the NFL.
Well, then the Browns game in week 6 is starting to look like a tough one. I mean, it's at the Browns, so it's in Cleveland, East Coast. So it's a 10 a.m. start. So that's always tough if we don't spend some time out there to get acclimated. That 3 hours
Right.
early can really mess with players' clocks, their internal clocks. But yeah, let's stick with the Cardinals. Let's just start with this. All right, it's a divisional game. Okay, so
Yeah.
divisional opponents, no matter how good or bad they are, they always tend to play other divisional opponents well. And not only, are they, like I think you were saying, they played well in every game this season. They had a pretty good size lead against the Commanders week 1. They had a monster lead against the Giants. It's surprising that the Giants were able to come back and beat them. And then they obviously slayed one of the big dragons of the NFL, if not the NFC, and the Cowboys on Sunday. Now, I've been getting into a little trouble on the timeline around all this. I don't know if you've seen this, Aaron,
No, not at all. No.
but people are calling me a Cowboys fan because I was stating some simple facts that 80% of the Cowboys starting O-line was out for that game. And I had so many people trying to tell me, like, oh, that doesn't matter. Next man up. But you know what? It's like next 4 men up. And on O-line, it just doesn't work that way. Also, especially the Cowboys O-line, where 3 of those guys are all pros. So it's a huge talent gap down to the next man up. And then even if the next man up were just as good, which they certainly are not, then there's a huge problem with continuity on an O-line where they all have to play together and gel for a period of several weeks to months before they are going to play their best that they could play together. So that was huge for the Cowboys. Another huge thing for the Cowboys was that Stephon Diggs tore his ACL on Thursday. And again, it's a huge talent gap down to the next man up there. He's one of the best corners in the NFL. And and then when it happens on a Thursday, you got no time, unless, even more importantly, no practices. I think Friday usually is just a walkthrough, so like, how are you going to compensate for that? It's really hard. People are like, oh, well, they ran a lot on them. And it's like, if you have a great lockdown corner, that allows the safety to come into the box to help play the run. He's also a good tackler. And it's just like, I don't know, people want to discount what a corner can do. Like, tell me, what was the big difference between the Niners in 93 when we lost to the Cowboys, in 94 when we beat them and went to go win our 5th Super Bowl?
Deion.
It was a corner. So like, anybody like trying to, and they're like, oh, you must love the Cowboys, you're a Cowboys fan. Like, no, I hate the Cowboys, but I can tell the truth and be objective about a team I hate, like the Cowboys, or a team I love, like the 49ers. I think that's the whole key to all this, is to be unbiased, and tell the truth, whether it hurts or feels good or not.
I look at it a little differently because I know that we've owned the Cowboys the last couple of years, and Dak Prescott was Dak Prescott. If you listen to some of their fans or people that are fans of him, I don't know. So it showed up on my, I don't know if it was a TikTok or it showed up. It said, we protected ourselves from him all game, and the minute we have to depend on him, he throws the game pretty much ending interception. And I felt like that's what he used to be, kind of like Garoppolo, where we'd have to like hide him, and then eventually we'd have to depend on him at some point. And for the most part, other than some games like New Orleans and stuff, he if it came to Jimmy, a lot of times he would throw that game altering interception that would end up costing the Niners a victory down the road. So I thought that the Cardinals just out physicaled them. I think that they ran right up Micah Parsons in that game. Say what you want about Parsons. A lot of people think he's better than Bosa because, whatever. He's an off the ball player. He doesn't have to fight against offensive tackles the way Bosa does. He gets that free rush kind of, or whatever. His way of playing is different. He plays in a 3-4 as compared to Bosa being in a 4-3. I'm not saying that the Cowboys are like a bad team, and I still think they're going to be in a tough match, week 5. So to me, it's just a matter of like, I don't even care about them right now. I care about the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals have a really good run game. I think they're a team that has nothing to lose. And when somebody has nothing to lose, they're dangerous because they have no expectations. We have all the expectations. So every game, somebody who's playing us has all the ammunition they need to beat us by just saying, listen, we don't got a chance in hell in beating these guys. But guess what? We're going to go in there and we could ruin their season. You know what I mean? Like, go in there, give us a loss that we can't really afford. And then down the road, we end up having a situation where maybe we miss out on the 1 seed because we lost to the Cardinals. So I think the Cardinals need to be taken extremely seriously. We need to treat them like the Dallas Cowboys. And, I want to see another awesome offensive showing once again. You know what I mean? A lot of time. I like a lot of ball control, a lot of running, a lot of taking the clock, taking their soul, taking their heart by running the ball down their throat. I want one of those games. I feel like Brock Purdy's at his best when he plays fast break offense with the run game, being heavily incorporated. Not saying that he can't throw the ball, but I feel like Kyle has a certain way of calling the offense, and I think when Brock fits it really good, and then Jimmy at times did too, when they kind of had that balanced attack where they ran the ball pretty precipitously, and then got the play action going off of it. So we'll see. I'm looking for George Kittle to have a big game on their defense because it's been a while.
I predicted that earlier this week. Maybe it was yesterday with Ryan, or maybe it was I went live Monday by myself because my usual weekly partner no-showed on me. So hopefully everything's okay with him. As far as the Cards go, yeah, I mean, they got James Conner. They've got, Josh Dobbs. Their quarterback seems to be pretty mobile. That always gives us trouble.
Yep.
Um, and yeah, we're 14-point favorites. So basically, everybody's like
I
basically
hate
saying they
that.
have no chance, which is
I
exactly
hate that.
when teams get fired up. They're like,
Yep.
oh, the disrespect. They don't think we can do it. Let's show them. Let's show them. What we can do. And so, yeah, that's a concern. So, yeah, the Cowboys, I do think they're still a contender. I think they'll adjust to Diggs being gone. Now that they
Still
have a
got a
full
lot of
week,
talent on the Cowboys.
they have a lot of talent. And
They
then
are
once that
not
O line
bereft.
gets healthy, because their O line is one of the best O lines in the NFL. Like it's them for me, the Lions and the Eagles. And then there was something else that you mentioned that I wanted to talk about because we had talked about it during the off season, and it's escaping me right this second. You said something about something that I had talked about, and I was like, oh, I really want to bring that back up, but maybe I'll think about it here, or I'll remember it here
Rushing the
as we.
passer, offensive line, play action, skill position players, Nick
Well, one thing,
Bosa,
skill position players, I saw we don't have a drop this season today. That was pretty incredible
which
for a wide
we'll watch
receiver.
the next game. We'll have like 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah, they
I
jinxed
hate
us.
those meaningless stats that they like. The Niners on East Coast games at 10 o'clock do not have like, some analytics guys just like pulling something out of his freaking rear end. I hate those because now we're going to have like 2 or 3 drops. It's going to be like one from each of the top 3 guys, Kittle, Debo, Ayuk. But yeah, that's cool. I mean, we've had the dropsy issues for a while. So should be interesting.
Got David Corona in the house saying what up. Frank Summer says David Lombardi reported Debo dealing with a knee injury with his
Saw that.
ribs. I only saw the ribs. Wow. And then obviously Dre ankle, and there was a few other injuries. But I did say Brandon Ayuk was at least limited, which is good. And then Jess from East Coast Red and Gold, check her out at 5, everybody, 5 Pacific, 8 Eastern, with all the folks, Ty, Matty B, and Bex. So yeah, damn, it's killing me. There was something that you said, and I was just like, oh, I remember I talked about that all off season, and I was like, I wanted to
Not
pat
having an
myself on
opposite
the back.
rusher of Bosa that's any good.
Well, I mean, there's the whole Javon Hargrave, where I was calling him, Charles Haley 2.0.
He's
That
been
definitely
pretty.
seems to be coming true. He's one of the highest. It's amazing. Just all of our defensive tackles are all there was Akash Abernathan posted it up, like the top, defensive tackles, and I think our guys are like 2, 3, and 4, or 3, 4, and 5 on the list between Javon Hargrave, Javon Kinlaw, and Eric Armstead. I think
We
they're
got to get
3,
more
4, and 5.
sacks. We got to get more sacks. I want to see more sacks.
We do, obviously, yeah. Can never have too many of those, that's for sure. Um, Damn. Well, maybe I'll think of it as we go along. But so as far as the Cowboys go, I think they're going to be fine, honestly, if they can
Yeah.
get their O line healthy. It's Micah Parsons. There we go. Yes. So we talked about how the Cardinals were running at Micah Parsons, and remember all off season I kept saying, I think the top 3 edges are Myles Garrett and Bosa. Same the name first. Bosa, Myles Garrett, and T.J. Watt. And I said I will not consider Myles Garrett to be one of the top edges. God darn it, Micah
Micah
Parsons
Parsons.
to be one of the top edges in the
Mhm.
NFL until he plays dedicated edge. And I remember I said I don't think he can do it because he's not good enough against the run. And sure enough, that's what the Cards did. They ran straight at him, and I was like, boom, chalk one up.
If
That's
you're the
exactly what I
Niners,
was
you do
saying.
the exact same thing. You
Yeah.
take Trent Williams and you put him against Micah Parsons and you run down their throat.
Oh yeah. Steph Sanchez had a great one of Kyle looking ahead to the Cardinals game, and it was like a picture of him kind of smiling with this. She photoshopped a microscope in there, and it just it looked. I was like, that's exactly what he's doing. He's just going through that game tape with a fine tooth comb, with a microscope, whatever you want to call it.
That's the thing about Kyle too. He makes the Niners like after they play teams, he points out all their negative. He's not one of
Yeah,
those coaches that just like kisses everybody's ass and taps everybody on the shoulder and tells them they did a good job. He's all about showing people up in meetings, telling them they did bad. You know what I mean? Like he's that kind of
yeah,
coach. Guys like honesty, even if it
yeah,
pisses you off. It's great. Say what
yeah.
you want about Kyle, and that's That's one of the things that I love about Kyle. Kyle is he's a player's coach, but he's also not a player's coach, and the fact that he will rip on guys.
Yeah, and it's just like, tell the truth. If you're not, you're just wasting time, and there's nothing worse in this world than time wasters. That's why I've been blocking a bunch of them on my timeline. Basically, anyone who keeps repeating stuff about Lance where it has nothing to do with Lance, I'm blocking them. Anyone saying I like the Cowboys, I'm warning them, and then I'm blocking them. I think it's been about 14 in the last 2 days. Some of them were people I already have blocked. I should never have unblocked them. But suffice it to say, I will not be making that mistake again.
I know one person that you should block.
Who's that?
We won't talk about him here, though. Just kidding.
Oh, okay. I think I know. But I don't want any death threats, Ryan.
You don't want anybody doxing you either. Yeah, you don't want death threats.
No.
Praise is lame. Totally. I hate when people tell me that I'm like. One thing at work that I always said, if you're going to call me out in the back, away from other coworkers. But tell me, don't tell me it's rosy and when I'm playing, I'm working or I'm doing something poorly.
Well, and somebody's asking me why I'm so negative about Purdy, and I'm like, if you think that stating the truth or stating facts is being negative, then you just might be a biased homer. And the reason why I'm doing it is because you'll know when I say he's good, you'll know it freaking means something. That's why.
Can I ask you something though? As a friend and as a person I actually like.
Lay into me, baby.
Why do you feel the need to have to talk about it every single day?
Because it comes up because people are coming at me every
is it people
now that I'm blocking these people. But
is it people coming at you trying to be like, hey Ted, Purdy's good, look at these statistics.
Purdy's elite they said. I'm like, no,
listen,
the team is elite and
I love the guy.
Purdy is not.
I love the guy. I think he's awesome. Do I think he's elite? No.
That's it.
I am a fan who can.
I hate the hyperbole.
I hate the hyperbole too, but I also don't want to. I don't want to hurt my ability to enjoy what is happening right now, and I will refuse to always bring up the things that I already am thinking about. Right now, Purdy is elite. Oh, Randy.
Randy. Uppercut.
Don't get Ted going, please. I have to try to bring him back down to
I know he's messing with me.
Being positive Peter here.
No, there are elite things about Purdy. There's lots of elite things. It's like quickness, decision making, leadership. There's tons. It's just there's some things that aren't.
I'll continue to bring this up anytime I see when you post stuff, because I know you're just putting it out there because you want to be honest and you don't want to lie and you want to be forthright when it comes to Purdy. I'll keep posting the fact that you have so many quarterbacks that have all these physical traits, right? But between the ears, they're weak.
Yeah, it's not the most important thing. That's the most important thing.
That's what Purdy has.
Yeah.
At least he's shown so far.
Yeah. He can be elite.
He could be mentally elite.
To improve. He can be elite. It's just, not guaranteed that he'll improve, and it's, I think, unlikely that he'll be elite, but not impossible.
And listen, Mahomes to me is the top of the top, and everybody else follows underneath his umbrella as far as quarterbacks in the NFL. But I just when people when I see you talk about his lack of elite physical skills, I always think of a guy like Justin Fields. Justin Fields has everything Purdy doesn't have, but he can't read the field. He is inept at reading the field. He can't read the field. They showed that one view from behind him during that I forgot what game, and there's two guys running wide open. He does not see him. You got Purdy, this little ass dude with this little noodle arm who doesn't have a big arm, and he's small, and he probably has small hands, and he looks like the guy from the Big Whopper commercial with the really tiny hands holding the giant Whopper. But yet he makes the right decisions 9 times out of 10. Is it going to be enough to win us a Super Bowl? I'm not going to allow that to take away from my enjoyment of this season, thinking far ahead, it doesn't matter. We're just not going to win anyways. I will not do that. And I've done that before many times, especially with James Garoppolo, or just it doesn't matter. We're going to get to a certain point. And we're going to lose. He hasn't shown me that yet. And so until he shows me that he can't handle the pressure, I have an open mind. So I get frustrated with you when I see you post things, but I didn't know that people attack you so much. So
They
I
do. They
kind of
come at me and they want their reaction, and I give it to them. So I'm probably too easy. I probably need to resist some. But like, and then people are like, "Oh, Ted, what's an elite QB?" I'm like, "Elite QB is someone who carries their team. That's it." And
that's
like
true. That's
for
true.
me, Purdy doesn't carry our team, and
None of the quarterbacks have.
because he's a little better than Jimmy. And just who you just brought up, and look at Jimmy, he's leading the league with 6 interceptions on the Raiders now. And I don't think Purdy would be that bad on another team, but I don't think it would be a ton different if he was on the Raiders. I think, yeah. And people are like, oh, poor Jimmy, he's got bad pass rush. I'm like, Jimmy picked the Raiders. Like, come on, how much excuses are you going to give this guy? Like,
Jimmy is the same player he's always been.
yeah,
He was carried
because
by a great he was carried by a great defense and a run game. And now, when those things aren't there, listen, here's my argument. That's saying that he carries the 49ers. My argument against anything negative about Purdy is this is the first quarterback that you've seen Kyle have the gall to go with in a 2-minute situation before a half to move the ball down the field. Anytime he had Jimmy, people were like, why does Kyle run the clock down so much? Why does Kyle do this, this, and that? It's because he didn't have confidence in Jimmy and probably didn't have that confidence in Trey Lance either to be smart with the ball and move the ball down the field. Purdy is a point guard essentially on this offense. I hear Pugh. I don't know.
no, he's
He,
got 9.25 inch hands,
oh, he does
which
have
is
pretty big
relatively
hands.
small. Jimmy's 9.5. The small one is Kenny Smallhand Pickett. That's like 8 5/8. That's small. Anytime you go
That's
on a
why
9 inch, that's small hands in the NFL for an NFL QB. That is. Pause.
pause, pause,
So,
pause.
so now you're talking about enjoyment, and everybody's like, "Why don't you just enjoy the games, Ted?" And I'm like, "Dude, I enjoy every win I enjoy, but I will not be satisfied until we take 6."
But
We were talking backstage, and you were saying, "Oh, Purdy has to win 6, or you're just gonna hate him on him for that." And that's not exactly true. It's Kyle that has to win 6, right? Because it's his team, he's responsible. Kyle does, and I can't, be that mean to Purdy. I got to say, if Purdy just balls out completely and some other things go wrong, everybody else gets hurt around him, and he just keeps balling out, how could I be mad at that, right? There's no way. So if Purdy does turn into be an elite QB, then he's good with me, whether we win 6 or not. But Kyle then would be at fault for not putting the people around him to win 6. So somebody is getting the blame if we don't win the Super Bowl this year, in my opinion. And then people are like, oh, you have unrealistic expectations, Ted. It's like from the 80s, Ted. And I'm like, no, in the 80s, we won 4 Super Bowls in the 80s. It's been 30 years since we won one. This is not the same. And like, don't come at me with your, participation trophies and your freaking victory parade after week 3. I'm sick of it. I
I
want it. I
am
want a
definitely
ring.
see, but here's the thing though, like I can't blame like the extensions that we're handing out, right? Everybody is so caught up on those extensions saying that they, every time something bad happens or the Niners make a poor decision, it's Kyle, fire John. And they don't have a good backup plan for that. And I don't like being runner up. I don't like being the team that gets close but never wins. But I enjoy the fact that this organization puts the money and the work into every year having one of the best possible rosters to give themselves a shot. They're in the dance all the time, and it's a matter of time. If you have that many cracks at it, you're gonna break through it. I rather people are like, so you rather have them be competitive all the time and never win? No, but I don't want
But
the
you have to get
opposite.
there to win. I'm with you that you got to get there to win.
I feel like if you
So.
give yourselves enough opportunities and you build a good enough roster and you have a good enough culture, that's one of the biggest things that people forget. The
But
culture
like
towards the
at
end of the
some
part,
point, you got to go shove the damn chips in and go get frickin' Pat Sertan the second,
right?
or somebody if he's actually really available. I don't
But
I
they
don't
might.
believe that
You
he
never
is,
know.
honestly.
They have $40 million, over 40 million. I know they're trying to roll most of it over because they have a S load of contracts to do stuff with, but they'll probably do some restructuring next year too. I don't think that they're just going to be like, oh, we don't have enough. We're going to get rid of you. Um, I am of the mindset of like, yeah, if we have a 6-0 start, a 7-0 start, and a 7-1 start, and there's a player out there that I think could put us over the top, unless we play Kansas City, then go and do it. Kansas City to me, it's just like they scare the hell out of me all the time because their quarterback, he never gets hit, he never gets sacked. The play, it's a 10-second play and he still has the ball and somebody's going to be open and it's just like it's so aggravating. I can't deal with it. I get so
Right?
stressed when I play the Chiefs. But
Yeah.
yeah, so
One song says to counter you. He says, "Say that to the '90s Buffalo Bills." Aaron's in Buffalo Bill territory, folks. Rochester, New York, is
that's
just
right.
a hop, skip, and a jump from Buffalo.
If you go to the grocery store, it's all Bills stuff up there. Here's the funny thing about Bills fans here in Rochester and in Buffalo. When the Bills aren't doing good or the Bills season's over, you see everything go bye-bye. You don't see a lick of Bills stuff anywhere. I rock my Niners gear, and I know a lot of you probably do too, all year round. When we lost the
Oh,
Super Bowl to
boy,
the Chiefs, next day, you know what I was repping? I was repping a jersey and a hat and a coat. I didn't care. You know what I mean? Because it was like, at least my team was in the Super Bowl. And I know that's really lame and it sounds like a runners up mentality or a participation trophy, but like, I feel like if you get enough shots at it, you're going to do it. And I know the Bills, but the AFC was always the weaker conference back then. The AFC sucked compared to the NFC. Like the AFC didn't win a Super Bowl, I think, till 97. When the Broncos went back to back, the NFC pretty much won all of the Super Bowls. If you go back to like 82 to like 95.
the Raiders won a few in there.
Okay. But for the most part, it was either the Redskins, well, when they were the Redskins,
Yep.
49ers,
Giants.
Giants, pretty much it. And then Dallas, and then the Niners again. Like it was NFC all
Green
the time.
Bay. Well, Green Bay
Uh,
just won with
Green Bay
Favre.
got it. Yeah, but they still counts. They're still an NFC
They
team.
still knocked us out a ton of times.
Yeah.
Efforts.
That's why anytime we beat them in the past, Green Bay, I always like, this is getting back for the 90s. I'm
Yeah.
like, freaking Brett Favre. We could not beat Favre. He's like Mahomes now. Anytime we play him, it's pretty much a guaranteed loss. It's freaking
Ship
great.
it. Sign it in. 49er Jeff says it feels like we can win a Super
I
Bowl
do too feel
with
that.
this team.
You just
I
got to
think
stay
so
healthy,
too.
man.
Yeah, that's it. Health. If we can stay
Health to
healthy,
me is the biggest
Purdy,
opponent of this
CMC,
team. Yeah,
Debo,
Purdy needs to stay
Kittle,
healthy.
Ayuk, all the Trent Williams, Fred, Bosa, Huff, maybe
Huff's my
even
guy. I have a Hufanga jersey.
Charvarius Ward, maybe even those are starting to get a little fringier, but like there's like a big 6 or 7. Or there's a 4 or 5 on offense and a couple on D that just, and maybe Hargrave's in there too now.
Ayuk is a must-have guy.
Yeah.
Ayuk does. He changes a lot of stuff with that offense.
No doubt.
I'm
Frank
totally.
Tom Ocean said Purdy had the 4th biggest hands in his draft of 15 QBs. I had no clue about that. He said so over 10 is large. That's very large for a QB. Wide receivers tend to have bigger hands typically.
Jeez.
Understandably.
10 is large. Yeah, mostly.
You know what that means? They also have bigger shoes, or gloves.
Exactly. And a bigger personality. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
said Randy Atona says Pat Surtain doesn't guarantee a Super Bowl. Sadly, no, he doesn't. But
didn't he get
guarantees that you did everything you could. Because look. All right, so somebody was asking me the other day on the show, like, "Hey Ted, do we need another cornerback?" And I'm like, "Hey, if it's the Bills, we don't, because all they got is Diggs, essentially, right? And if it's the Chiefs, all they have is basically Kelsey. I do believe that the Chiefs will trade for another weapon, though, before the trade deadline. But if it's like the Dolphins, I think we need a better corner on the other side of Charvarius Ward. Maybe someone better than Charvarius Ward, right? If it's the Eagles, I think we probably need a better corner against, they've got 3 elite weapons in A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Dallas Goedert. So, and you can kind of go, I think for the Bengals. Now they've had a slow start, obviously, but I think all these people ranking them in the high teens, I think they're out of their ever-loving minds. The Bengals are a contender, and they're one of the few teams I'm worried about this season.
Mm-hmm.
I think as soon as Burrow is 100%, they're going to be clicking.
Yep.
So that's another team that I would say we would need an extra. Now, most of the rest, though, I don't know. Maybe no.
Yeah, I'm so hung up on an edge rusher. I wouldn't be against Surtain. It's just I'm not willing to give up a first round pick. We need an offensive tackle next year's draft. I'm not
Brent,
giving up a first rounder. I'll give
yeah,
up a combination of 2s and 3s if I have to, but we need a no tackle for the future, man.
yeah.
You
No,
you can't you
we
can't
agree
blow
on that. Like
you can't blow your
whether
wad on freaking 8 games and then now I don't have a first rounder.
yeah, whether it's 2024 draft or before the trade deadline, that should go to a right tackle, I think.
Yeah, you
Although,
got to go.
McKinnis is doing all right from the pass block. He had a clean
No,
sheet Thursday night, pass
no,
block. The
not
run
good enough.
blocking lacks, though, and that's
Now
key
with
for them.
Purdy at quarterback, Purdy needs all the blocking. They need a legit right tackle that could go
There
to
you go.
left tackle eventually, like a legit guy. If I'm the Niners, what I do because I have a bunch of picks, if we don't do anything in this mid-season, I take some stuff and I move up into the top like 15 and I go get myself a legit all-pro tackle. Like I take my first rounder, I take a combination of like some maybe a second or some thirds down the road with all these thirds, and I go move up into the top 15 of the draft, and I go get myself like if somebody's there this coming draft, and I know we're in the middle of the season, uh, I really think that would be a great move. Cap's getting dude needs to give it up, bro.
Give up the
People say I'm a
ghost.
Cap hater that know me. I'm just like, dude, he was good for like a season and a half. And
Um,
then he
well, what about corner, sure, tackle, sure. What about defensive end? I mean, Drake Jackson had 3 sacks,
Cap
and all of a sudden he's fallen off. Right? Hasn't done
he's right
anything.
back to his normal. I think the Niners have to be monitoring that, right?
Yeah, yeah. Because I mean, imagine what we could do with another edge. You go Bosa, Hargrave, Armstead, Kinlaw, and then have a monster edge on the other side. I
The only
mean,
person I'd be willing to make a trade for, maybe a future first rounder, would be a guy like Brian Burns. That's it.
yeah,
Brian Burns would be the only guy, because he legitimately gives you a probably a top 10 pass rusher in the NFL across from Bosa. The one thing Bosa's missing right now, and the Niners missing, is they're missing another guy that can push the friggin' pocket. They got 2 really good defensive tackles, maybe 3, even as much as I can't stand the dude. Kinlaw's been playing pretty well to start. He still hasn't got any sacks though, but I'm just I was banging the table, dude, in the offseason about another edge guy, and I'm just so disappointed that they never even attempted to go after a guy like Justin Houston. You know what I mean? But he got a lot of money. He had almost $10 million. I'm like, I'm not willing to pay that for a freaking aged out freaking defensive end whose best days are behind him, even though he gets like 10 sacks a year still. Cap guy was blackballed. That's rough. Yeah, but you know what? Here's the thing. I agree that the league blackballed them, but once you sue the league or go against anybody with litigation, why the hell would they bring you back? Like, like if you're going on this crusade to show everybody how bad the league is, and in a lot of ways, maybe they did blackball you. What do you expect? Nobody wants the headache for a guy that might not even be a starter. I might not even be a second quarterback. That may be the third quarterback. Why would you bring in that parade of silliness and have all that distraction for a guy that's probably never going to see the field on your team? Why? I
you know,
wouldn't. Someone's like,
you
you
know,
don't know. He's. I'm like, dude, he hasn't played in like 7-8 years. It's like 7 years, dude. It's over. It's over. It's done.
there
Leave
you
it
go.
alone. I'm
There you
so
go.
sick of hearing about it.
Yeah.
I
Brian
want
Culp says Moody season rookie of the
Moody's
year.
been really good, man. You were
Yeah.
right, Bryant. Me and Bryant were both kind of like, uh-oh. And then all of a sudden the season started and he's been legit, dude. He's been good. We have what do you get? A 57 yarder at one.
Yeah. Yeah. No, not all of them look pretty, but hey, there's no pictures on the scorecard.
I
So
don't care as long as it goes over the crossbar.
as
I
long as it
kicked
goes
one in
in.
Madden. I kicked a long field goal in Madden that hit the crossbar and bounced out. I was so pissed off. I'm like,
Brutal.
Moody would have made that.
He's got the leg. Moody. No, it's exciting. I hope he keeps it up. Still not ready to like crown him yet, but couldn't be a better start. He's perfect. Interesting that we scored 30 points in every game. We had 3 touchdowns in every game. We had 3 field goals in every game and 3 PATs in every game. Kind of some interesting numerological things, just to, if you're into that kind of thing, as you know, I am a little bit. Randy says he loved Moody in college. Yeah, I mean, Harbaugh said, like, 3 things you can count on in this life: death, taxes, and Jake Moody. So I love it. I love it. How about the Niners? He was trying to convince them that he could be on their PS and prepare them for mobile QBs. I'm not sure who he's talking about.
Probably talking about Kaepernick.
Oh, yeah, probably. And Bryant said hi to Laura, who said, our cat, who said hi to him.
I had a friend, a guy I used to be really close friends with. Dude, he's a freaking Commanders fan. And he was like, he's arguing me to death about Kaepernick and how Kaepernick got screwed, and the team blew up around him, and that's why he was so bad. I'm like, dude, there were signs of it during the season that we went up against the Seahawks for the third time or second time, where we were in Seattle. Like, he had a ceiling, and he never, once he hit that ceiling, like, teams started figuring out. The Ravens Super Bowl is when teams started to figure out, you know what, we're going to hit him regardless. If he's a quarterback that likes to run or do the option, and eventually, like, teams figured him out. He couldn't read the field. He's another one of those guys that has a cannon for an arm. Like, I'm going to go after Ted on this.
All the traits, all the elite traits.
I'm going to go after Ted on this one. He's traded out, man. He's got it. Big arm, mobile, blah, blah, blah. He does all this awesome stuff that looks good. It gets you drafted. But when it comes to the mental part of the game, where little tiny little man, Mr. Purdy, where he shines is in the mental aspect. He's as Ted likes to say, he's a mental giant.
Yes.
Kaepernick was freaking horrible mentally. Like, if a team addresses your play, and they start to make critiques and changes to face you, you have to do the same thing to their adjustments. And he was never able to do that. Listen, I got a Kaepernick authentic in my closet. Okay, I admit that I fell for it. Okay, that's the last quarterback jersey I'll ever buy. I will not buy. I love Purdy, but he has to win a Super Bowl, and he has to play really well in that Super Bowl. Like, he can't just be along for the ride, going 9-13 and we rush for 400 yards. No, like, he has to be like 2-3 touchdowns, leads a couple of big drives, yada yada yada, and then I'll buy a Purdy jersey. Like, the Kaepernick one screwed me over.
I had a Cap jersey. Yeah,
it's like $300 something. It's an authentic on the field jersey, big boxy ass looking thing.
I didn't burn it or anything, but I definitely let it go to the recycle bin for sure. When all that stuff went down, I was like, but I will say, in Cap's defense, a little bit, people are like, oh, he regressed and everything. And I think he did regress some, but like, Balky regressed too. Like, look at who he was throwing to at the end: Jeremy Curley and God knows who, and no running backs and no O linemen. Like, some of the O linemen were still there from the glory days, but they were not the glory days O linemen anymore. They were just washed up heaps of skin and bones at that point. So he did sort of have the deck stacked against him at the end. And then obviously with Tom Sula and Chip Kelly as your coach, that's not really going to help you a lot either. So his lack of talent, lack of coaching, and probably some regression too, but probably not as much regression as it looked like just at face value, right? If you just looked at it casually, not deeply. I think as you look deeper, call it excuses, I call them facts, but there's more reasons to, give them some.
I just don't like being called out for certain things just because I don't like a player. Like, oh, you don't like him because no, that has no bearing on it. I don't care what shade of human being he is. Like, yeah, I had some people tell me like, oh, that's only. I'm like, no.
Well, I had people tell me, oh, you would like Purdy if he was drafted where Kenny Pickett was. I'm like, no, it's the same. I don't care. It's what I see. It's not the draft position. Like, and if anything, the draft position makes me like him better because I'm like, he's an overachiever, right? I'm just like so tired.
There
I'm
was
like
no
telling people like,
expectations
don't
when you're.
ever speak for me again because you clearly don't know me. So don't like try and like pretend like you do because you're getting on like you would never be this critical of another quarterback. I'm like, did you see what I said about Jimmy G? Come on, man. I mean, it's already out there that I've been way more critical of other quarterbacks. So anyway, sorry. Chill.
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Jimmy.
Watching him
QB.
struggle with the Raiders brings happiness to me because I'm a hater like that.
Yeah, six interceptions to lead the league. But that's what I'm telling people. People are like, "Oh, Purdy's so great. Purdy's so great." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Hey, how's Jimmy doing?" And they're like, "Oh, I was never a Jimmy guy." I'm like, "Well, Jimmy was here and he got carried. So if Jimmy got carried, then Purdy's getting carried just a little bit less, or a little, or. So
I would say I would say Purdy got carried in the last game, but I think he's done a good job of not being carried in a lot of other games too. I
Well,
think
and,
he's
and
made
I need
some
to
great.
stop being so nice to him now because, like, here I go saying all these things, the mental giant and makes great decisions, and accurate. All of a sudden, like, Kittle's playing DB to avoid interception. Debo's playing DB. He's throwing it to Debo on the goal line. This is just in the first drive. Throwing it to Debo on the goal line when there's three guys around him. Debo got clotheslined a couple times in that game. The throw to Jennings over the middle was behind him, and people are like, oh, pirouetting in the middle doesn't rob yak. I'm like, what are you talking about? This is a game of inches, and it cost him at least a yard. Like,
What about the fact that he's still a young quarterback too?
oh yeah, he can
We make all
improve.
excuses for the top guys.
Yeah, he can
How come
improve.
Purdy
I
isn't
expect
afforded
him to
those?
improve. I think
I
it's likely.
I thought he might regress this year a little bit, just based on teams coaching themselves to play him and
And the
adjustments
arm,
and stuff, and
the
his
arm's
arm.
still not 100% in my opinion.
I don't think don't be surprised when we go into training camp next year and we do all our everything's great, happy time 49ers, and there's a report or there's a video where he does an interview where he talks about, what, my arm wasn't quite 100% last year. I almost guarantee it's coming. It always happens, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially if they fall short.
Yeah, but then like
You're
even like I was praising Purdy for the throw to CMC, the one that CMC dropped that should have been a touchdown, and someone's
That was
like,
a nice.
Ted, he's like, if he led CMC, he didn't have to spin around, and the DB never recovers to make the play. I'm like, that's probably true. It probably wasn't as good a throw as I thought. And then even the one at the end, the TD that we all loved because it was a deep throw to the right to Debo. And then JTO O'Sullivan, who like everybody was like loving JTO when he was raking Lance over the coals, but as soon as he says something bad about Purdy, he's like, he don't know what he's talking about. He was a terrible QB. It's like, you guys are
He really was
incredible.
he really was a terrible QB though. He
He
really sucked.
was, but terrible QBs can be great analysts. They can be great coaches. Especially if they were there holding the clipboard with the great coach. That's how you get to be a great coach a lot of times.
Laura catches, and yeah, you're definitely infatuated with Jimmy. She tagged me in something, and I was like, I'm just like, but why? Like, I don't want to see his chin. Yes, he's very attractive. Yada 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 yada. Is pretty
I'm just
man.
glad I never have to root for him again.
If he was my teammate, I'd slap him in his face. I don't like the
So
smiling. The smiling after failure, like that Kapler video that everybody was watching, where he
yeah,
like took the ball from that pitcher and he was freaking looked like the Cheshire Cat or whatever, and that
yeah,
pitcher was like off me, like he was pissed.
yeah.
I
Well, I was gonna say I titled the show "Can any NFC team stop the 49ers march to the Super Bowl?" Uh-oh. Am I
oh
still here? That was weird.
the
Can you hear
glitch.
me?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can hear
I'm
you.
okay. I think I'm okay.
Weird.
It was when I just looked at YouTube because I couldn't remember without cheating. Um,
Sometimes it'll
do
freeze
you,
when you come back. Yeah.
do you think we're the best team in the NFC? Because you said something too. Are the Niners legit or for real or
I
something?
think the
Right?
Niners are the best team in the NFC right now.
I think so too.
Right
I think
now,
Eagles are close.
but you also, like you said it about the Bengals, like in the end, they're going to be there, right?
Yeah,
They're having a slow start this year. Their high price quarterback is dinged up and he's not 100%. But they have all the horses to do it. I think the Niners. I just think their mindset's really different this year, man. The excuses, the near misses, the almost winning, like they're tired. They're tired of it. They want to win, and you could base stuff. You just watch the interviews after games. Like people are happy, but it's just like next. They're already. It just it. There's not like when you watch a bad team play and they win a couple of games. It's like they won the Super Bowl. The Niners like celebrate, but I forget what I was watching. They're like, we don't practice touchdown dances. We want to win or something. I think it was Ayuk talking about something. And I'm like, exactly. Like it's over. That time's over. This isn't a team that's been really bad and we have a good season after having like 6 or 8 bad ones. We've had some pretty successful runs over the past handful of years, and it's time to freaking pay the piper and go win a Super Bowl. I won't call them the best team in the NFL because I think Miami put up 70 points last week. That's just insane.
You know what was more insane? I did the rewatch and at a minute 55, so just under the 2-minute warning, it was 21-10 Dolphins. So they scored 49 points in under 32 minutes, that's insane. That's blew me away. And they look good. I mean, they look fast.
They're super
and
fast. The
Mike
Niners have a.
McDaniel's a smart cat,
I don't know if the Niners could score 60 points.
The
I
good
like
news
Purdy to
is,
death,
or
but
bad
man,
news, the good news or bad news is with the Dolphins is, I just don't expect Tua to be there at the end. So
the thing with Tua though is he doesn't have a really big arm. He
no,
doesn't.
bigger
People
than
talk
Purdy.
about
So.
it's better than Purdy's, but it ain't. It's not
He's
like
not a cannon. It's not a cannon.
no, like it takes a lot for him to get stuff downfield. But we got yak guys, run after catch.
Yeah.
He's got track stars. Like he literally has to like, dude, that one play to Tyreek Hill, how wide open he was. He was wide open by like 25 yards. There wasn't a soul in his presence. Like, how does that even happen? But it was the play calling, like Kyle. You call a play that the DB bites, and that's all it takes. Um, I think the Niners right now are the best team in the NFC right now as of week 3. I
There
think
you
they're the
go.
most complete team offensively and defensively. But we'll see, man. We got a long ways to go. I hate talking about this kind of stuff 3 weeks into the NFL. Give me like a week 10, week 11, and but even still, then like I'm not. I want a Super Bowl like you. I'm tired of the freaking bridesmaid trash, man. Like I want to be the bride. I want to win.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Randy here about Miami Eagles, Chiefs, Niners. Well, obviously Niners don't scare us, but I get it. They would scare people.
Yeah,
I would put the Cowboys on there, and I would
they don't
put
scare me. They don't
I
scare
would
me as much though. The Cowboys because Dak's
put the
still their quarterback.
Bengals and maybe the Ravens,
I
even though
think
they
Dak's
lost.
a liability at quarterback like Jimmy.
I think the Ravens will be tough towards the end. Hey, real quick, also, we mentioned it early. If you're watching on my channel, get over to Aaron's channel at 49ers First Takes. Give him a like and subscribe. Same thing for me. If you're on 49ers First Takes, hop over to TED Talks Ball and do the same. Also, I forgot to mention earlier, I have a new sponsor. That's the new branding on the overlay, TTG. So I'm now TTB, brought to you by TTG. It's Travelstead Transportation Group, or the Travelstead Group. And they're like a retail and hospitality logistics company, third-party logistics. Get your equipment here to there. Their website is in my Twitter bio. It's in my YouTube bio, and it's in the description of this show. So if you do anything like that with high-end shipping, they are the person, the entity to reach out to. And I will have like some videos and more stuff from them, collateral to share. But yeah, TTB brought to you by TTG, folks. So make sure you check them out.
You done with TTB? Yeah, you know me. Sorry.
That's right. Or somebody said, since they're Travel Stead, they said, oh, it could be Travel Ted, but I don't want to mess up their name or even
Boom.
inject mine in there. But great folks, and real happy to have them on board as my first ever sponsor of the show.
I had a sponsor or two, but it just like all of them were like, you got to do this, this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and then you might get some money from us. Like, I'm good, thanks.
No, they're paying me up front. I did. They said they can pay me more than what I negotiated, and I said I can take less. Also, if it's not yielding results that you're looking for, it's my first time, so I don't really know that much about it. And there's no like, tell them Ted sent you. But actually, if you do end up talking to them or emailing, do tell them Ted sent you. So at least they know that the revenue is coming from me, and maybe we can get some kind of discount code going for it as well too. I don't know. We'll see. but that would be a good way to help track it, I think.
Hmm.
So we got thanks, Laura Cat, appreciate it. Got McNiner in the house, McNuevo. Welcome, great to see you.
My favorite bald brother from another mother.
Everybody, make sure to check it. He was there Thursday night too, with all the Ash and everybody, and they all got onto the field. That was also Jess, obviously.
You guys, I'm such a jelly. I'm so jelly.
Me too, because I could have been there if it wasn't the week my son was born. But
kind of takes precedence over things just a
kinda,
little bit.
Yeah,
if you would have asked your wife, "Can I go to the 49er game?"
Hey, honey, can I go to the game Thursday?
That's okay. Yeah, you can, but you could sleep out on the porch now.
Yeah. So I probably would have ended up. Yep.
Would have had a big freaking Rosie Smacks freaking bruise on the side of his face.
Would not have been good. Would not have been good. But
no.
So one of these days I want to get out there and meet everybody, especially when everybody's traveling. I might even come out the night before just to go out.
I want to meet everybody so bad because like Laura's like, come out and we got to meet Aaron and Brian called the same and David and Ty and I'm just like, why do you guys all gotta live in the West Coast?
It's great.
My boy Bash too. I want to meet Bash so bad. I want to meet Bash so that he could I don't know. I'll go to his crib and he can fire me up some pizza. Yeah, I'm a pizza. I could eat pizza every day. Well, not every day. Maybe 3 times a week.
Every other day.
He says he has really good sauce, and I'm a sauce aficionado because my mother's from Sicily, and my Nona had good sauce too. So it has to pass my test because my mom is like her sauce is more acidic, whereas my Nona's sauce was more sweet. So I want to see what Mr. Bashy guy. I want to see his sauce. My buddy's Iraqi and he makes better pizza than most Italian people. That's kind of sad.
I feel like that was a pause-worthy moment there, but
what?
I want to see his sauce.
I want to see his sauce. I just want to see his sauce. Yeah. But you just made a bolognese. Bolognese is pretty much a meat sauce if you want to break it down. My mom makes pretty good meat sauce, like when she does her meatballs. It has to be a lot of meat though. Pause. In the sauce when you make a bolognese. It can't just be like little particulates. It's got to be legitimate, like lots of hamburger. I'm not a big meat sauce person though. Only time I like meat sauce is when I'm eating lasagna. That's it.
There you go. We got Tony from Locker Room Rant with John Vornis in the house. Thanks for joining, Tony.
People need time.
Damien says he loves Domino's. I used to love just the Domino's sausage.
Domino's was good about 20 years ago.
Those little like round Papa sausages. John's. They look like meatballs.
And how about Pizza Hut in the 80s?
Yeah,
I was part of the Book It Club. I'm sure Laura Cat remembers that. She's about my age, a little bit around the same age. So back in the 80s, Ted, you were probably done with high school by then, but like...
No. I didn't graduate from high school till 88.
Okay, so 86, 87, 80. I started school in 85. I was in kindergarten, first grade, second. No, they do not. Only idiots from New York call that. No self-respecting real Italian that's born in Italy or Sicily because of gravy. Nah. No. My mom thinks it's the dumbest thing ever. I'm like, Mom, look at these clowns on Diners Drive. I can't. That's why I love Guy Fieri, but dude, you're such a fake. Dude's like 4th generation Italian, and he's talking like nobody calls it gravy, bro. Nobody calls it gravy. If anything,
my
mom
calls it too. You said there's no I when you say it's 4th generation Italian.
It's yeah. He's 4th generation Italian. No, they never call it gravy. If you're from like Jersey or you like the spicy sauce, you know what? I don't like too much spice in my Italian food.
Telling you, we gotta start TED Talks Grub here.
Pizza snob. Oh, I'm a total pizza snob.
Get the food. There you go. Here we go. Beef, veal, and mild sausage. There you go. No pork.
I don't like sausage.
Huh? Oh, I do like sausage.
I'm not a sausage person. It's funny. My nieces aren't either, which is great. I don't like fennel or any of that stuff. Oh, anyways, so like I was I liked Papa John's back in the day. You know what it was? It was that garlic sauce, dude. I would order like 6 extra cups, and I would just like every 2 pieces I'd have a new cup because I would just like slather that mess. It was so good. But they don't have any in Rochester anymore. They closed all the Papa John's in New York. It's freaking stupid. So
There's one out here I like a lot. It's called Amici's. I get the
I've heard about
combo
that. East Coast.
with the oven roasted garlic.
Mm.
Slow roasted garlic is a bomb-tastic pizza. It's got bacon, it's got pepperoni, it's got, you say meatball, but it's like they slice it real thin, so it looks like a pepperoni almost, but obviously meatball colors.
I like a
Uh,
spicy meatball.
a little bacon, a little onion, little mushrooms in there, some olives. So good. So good. And this thin wood-fired crust with lots of
I need to
extra
make
wood
some dinner
filler.
before I have my stream with Raj. I need to eat
Yeah,
something soon.
I'll let you get going soon here. I won't keep you
Mm.
too much longer. Rick says, hello, faithful friends. How you doing, Rick? Thanks for tuning in. Better late than never. Absolutely. Pizza snobs. Absolutely. Yeah. You gotta
100%.
be. Yeah.
Me and my brother are like so particular with pizza. It's so bad.
Never eye ties. I don't know what that one is. Bryant's the Jets winning want the blind QB. I don't know
Mm.
what that one is. Shout out to the faithful from the West and East Coast. Thanks, Rick. Bryant Culp in the house. We already saw that with the Moody stuff, but he's been saying hi to everyone. Please move around way too much. I'm old. Players move around way too much. I'm old school. Yeah, there wasn't much player movement back in the 80s, that's for sure. Not like I mean, at the end of their careers they would, but not while they were in
Who
their
do you want?
prime.
Who do you trust to throw the ball, Ray Charles or Kirk Cousins?
I like Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins is good until you need him to play in a big game, and then he sucks.
But
He's an
part
empty.
of it is the Vikings D is trash, so he's always pressing. So I think you give him, I
No
think if you
excuse.
protect him. Plus, like I know at the beginning of the season they're on like their third left tackle or something.
No
Like,
excuse.
all
No
right,
excuse. He's how
I
many
think you
leagues?
put
How
him
many
on a
years has
decent.
he been
I'd
in the
rather have
league?
him than Jimmy G. That's for sure. I'd take Cousins over Jimmy G.
That's not really that much of an upgrade.
Yeah, that's enough. Tomato, potato.
They
Maybe
both
not for the
freaking.
money though, because Cousins is a lot more expensive. He's like
They
35
both can.
mil.
They both know how to throw away games with timely interceptions when it
Tony
matters.
likes Amici's too. He limes Amici's.
I lime Amici's.
It's so good.
Okay.
Yeah. They also Amici's also has this great arugula salad with goat cheese and grapes and bacon, and then it comes with a vinaigrette. You can always I get ranch, and then you can add chicken on top of it. It's actually a really good healthy salad to go with your pizza. I know, sorry, probably shouldn't.
Who the hell
Green.
eats salad with
I know,
pizza?
I know. That's well,
I
my
want
wife,
wings.
my wife.
Oh, your wife.
And me. What I do is I order the pizza and 2 salads. She eats hers for dinner. I eat the pizza for dinner, and then like the next day for lunch.
You
I'll
know what
have
I do?
salad.
I get when I get like I go get Olive Garden, even though it's like the fakest Italian food ever. I get 2 orders of fettuccine alfredo, and I get like an order of 10 breadsticks, and each thing comes with like 2 each entree. So I have like 14 breadsticks, dude. So I'm just like all starching it out, man, like a big fat ass. Or a
Randy says
cat.
Kirk on this team
Hello,
could be
it's
nuts.
me, Mario. Let's go.
Mario. Yeah, you posted about Kirk today, and I chimed in. I said and no, he's pretty. I think better,
I don't want
but
him on
he's
this
like
team.
35 times cheaper too.
We'll
So,
get a bunch of points. We'll score a bunch of points and touchdowns, but I'll take Purdy in the postseason because I've
absolutely.
seen enough out of Kirk Cousins in his career. He plays small and big games. He sucks.
There we go. Randy says Touche Ted, new nickname. Is that, just Touche Ted? Okay, yeah. I mean, I have a zillion nicknames. So Tuddles,
Tater
Toodles.
tot.
I mean, it's yeah. I had so many nicknames growing up. It's crazy.
It means tater tot guy. That's what it means.
Oh, tater tot guy. I like it. I do like tachos.
Totally
Tater tot
tubular,
nachos.
totally tubular guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
stupid.
80s. Tubular was definitely an
It's
80s life.
tubular.
He says, but it's still an upgrade. Yeah.
Can an upgrade?
It's me,
It's me,
Mario. That's what
Mario.
Bash likes to say that, doesn't he?
Hello, it's me, Mario.
Oh, you're pretty good at that. Even
Let's
Musk likes to
go.
say.
He always sounds like he says Mexico when he says it. Let's go, Mexico.
I like Danucci's, Valley Ford, California. I've
Uh,
never been to Danucci's.
I need me. So what are you? Are you a East Coast thin slice, or are you a
I'm not a thick crust. No, absolutely
thick?
not.
The only
I
time
like
I
New
like
York,
thick
but I think they call it Michi's
Sicilian,
Connecticut style.
Connecticut. I like thin
Yeah,
pizza if I'm eating wings with it.
there you go.
I want New York thin because I'm probably gonna polish off about 8 to 10 wings, right? So I'm gonna eat 8 to 10 wings plus probably 6 or 7 slices of pizza because I'm a big fat ass. If I'm just gonna eat pizza, I'll eat square Sicilian thicker slices and I'll have like 5 slices and be good. So it all depends. Like, give me I have anything over. The only thing I'll eat over pizza is like stuffed shells, like lasagna. It's the greatest food ever. I could eat that till my freaking face falls off.
Round Table's
Um,
pretty good. It was
what's
founded
up, Big Mac?
nearby where I live in Menlo Park, California. Randy said no. The nickname is Meathead. I got a lot of those. There's like
My dad.
Meathead, Perverted, Well Built Ted, Pot Ted.
They
Back in
used
the
to
day,
just call
not
me Dick.
anymore, not anymore, but back in the
They just
day.
call me Dick because my middle
Yeah.
name is Richard.
Big Head Ted was another one. Teddles, Toodles. Then there's a lot from my last name, like
My nickname in high
Hazel.
school was Toucan Sam.
Yeah,
Is that a big ass nose?
yeah.
Yeah.
There you
Yeah.
go.
I still have a big nose, but my face filled in around it. But when I was in high school, it was just like.
That's the key. You get those cheeks puffing out, and it doesn't look quite so.
Yeah, when the size of your head triples from when you were in high school, it helps your nose not look so big.
There's another pizza out here in San Fran that I like a lot called Tony's Napolitano, and they have a bunch of different kinds of ovens. Great pepperoni,
Napolitano.
Napolitano,
Pizza Napolitano.
pizza Napolitano. Yeah, Tony's is real good, and then they have a sister restaurant called Capo's that's also very good. They've won some awards, some national pizza awards here in the states. Um,
It's actually Napolitana.
Somebody was saying, hey, what do you think about this? I mean, and I don't know. It's been a long time since I've been to Vegas because I got into so much trouble there when I was a youngster. But somebody was saying that it was Jimmy G was saying that he likes the pizza in Vegas better than San Francisco, and I was like, maybe he meant Santa Clara, but I feel like San Francisco pizza is pretty good, and I just don't know a thing about. Maybe they're the fancy
I
Wolfgang
would need to
Puck
come
kind of
out there
pizzas or
and
something,
give
but
you my official ratings. I'm like, I want to be the new guy from Barstool, that guy who rates the
the
pizza.
pizza guy, the pizza raider.
Yeah,
Hey, Aaron, come rate our pizza. If you say nice things, you have pizza for life, huh? All
and we'll
good.
we'll uh, we'll give your channel some love or something. All of
I
a
would
sudden, I
offer to
get
come be your wingman there, but I'm like banned for life from Vegas, so too many mishaps for this kid there.
by who?
So
Your wife or yourself?
yeah, yeah, both honestly, just yeah, mostly my wife.
Not
Um,
supposed to. Never mind. I'm not gonna say anything.
I thought that's the place you were talking about for a sec. My bad. Oh yeah, no, not to do is Amici's. A-M-I. Tony spelled it up higher. Up higher. It's AMICI apostrophe S. They're all over the peninsula.
I see.
Ray. Who is the Razor and Mr. T on the sports channel? Ray. He
Rado.
kind of got something happened to him. There's kind of some kind of scandal with him, but he always talked about Amici's pizza. He always
Oh man,
did
look
that.
at him. Ray Rado weighs like
No,
700
it's not
pounds.
Rado. It's not Rado. It's Ray. The one. Yeah, Rado does stuff with Tom Tolbert too now. This was the guy from before, maybe when they were still on
Man, Tom
KMBR.
Tolbert is insufferable to listen to.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan.
Oh my god. Dude, can you shut up about beer for 5 minutes when you're doing radio?
Yeah,
Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
it was Ralph. It wasn't Ray. It was Ralph Barbieri was the guy's name, and he was
Hmm.
the Razor and Mr. T. That was the name of their show. Ralph the Razor, Barbieri, and Tom T. Tolbert, Razor and Mr. T. He used to always do the Amici's commercials, and I love the pizza. I never liked him, and so don't hold it against the pizza folks. It's not their fault that he was representing them. Thin crust pizza, meat pizza with garlic sauce. Absolutely, that's what I was just saying. Slow roasted garlic. Oh, but you're saying sauce. I usually like tomato sauce, but with slow roasted garlic. Yeah, lots of meat. Lots of
My
cheese,
brother
little
makes the
sauce.
best aioli for Philly cheesesteak. It's like a garlic, I forget, garlic is it cilantro? I forget exactly, but he makes like this, dude. He puts that on, and then you put you get your onions, and then you put your meat stuff. Aaron, isn't called pie? Not where I am. It's called pizza.
Randy says, I love Philly cheesesteak pizza, chicken parm pizza, vodka, and penne pizza. Man, I miss Jersey. Interesting. I don't think
All
I've
I
ever
like
had
is
a Philly
pepperoni.
cheesesteak.
I love dipping the Olive Garden breadsticks in the Alfredo sauce. I usually get a moat of
You're
sauce
not a
from them.
pineapple on your pizza guy, are you?
No.
Good.
You'll get slapped by me if you have
I was
pineapple.
about to have to be like, oh, your connection's fading.
Oh, all of a sudden he's frozen. Goodbye.
Hey, I can't hear
I
you
hate
anymore.
pesto. Ooh, you like cheeseburgers too? I love pesto on my pizza, even though I can't eat pesto. It's gross. It's gross.
Man, I'm like falling behind in the chat's going bananas with all this food talk. Slice sauce is a fave. There you go. Laura Cat likes Tony's. Love it. You can do it at
That's always
home.
where I do it. But boom, hey, how you doing?
Here
Not
all week.
lately.
So don't forget to tip your waiters, huh? Did you find a better pizza, Marriott? Oh,
What do you have, Pete? You what's his name? Freaking Pee Wee Herman. If you
Barney?
like it so much, why didn't you marry it? Hey, boys and girls, like he used to do that. Jim Carrey back in the day did a perfect friggin' Pee Wee Herman. Hey, boys and
What's his
girls.
girlfriend's name? Dot. Dot. Pee-wee, he was funny. Sure, and the dough cooking for scratch is better, cheaper, healthier. That's true. You know what you're eating that way, at least. And fun while listening to music. There you go. Aaron isn't. Oh, pie. Okay, there we go. So
Now where I am.
no pie, no sauce.
Maybe in like New York or New Jersey, like maybe, hey, you want some pie? But I don't know any Italians. The only I have an uncle who, I don't know, just like they were born in Sicily for crying out loud. He just acts like an American more than he does an Italian, which drives me up the freaking wall. Because my mom and everybody else, all her brothers, but my one uncle, he's so American. It's like he's ashamed of his heritage. Like my mom still talks in the the dialect, and like she told me how to say Little Caesars in Italian. It's piccolo cesare. Piccolo means
small.
little. Cesare.
Pico.
I like when she teaches me stuff. And then there's this one girl I used to work with. Every time I said teach her stuff, she would, because she's a Spanish teacher. This one young chick that I used to work with, she teaches Spanish in middle school. So like I would teach her Italian once in a while, and usually she could pronounce it better than me, and she speaks Spanish because it's very similar. So
the dog was Speck. The girlfriend was Dottie. Dot. Yeah. From Pee Wee. Real quick, some pizza stuff. McNiner says near Salt Lake City, the pie. I didn't realize you were near Salt Lake City, McNuevo. I thought you were California. Well, I mean, I'm sure you maybe were at one point.
And there you are, but let him
Are you like in Salt Lake City or near Park City? Is right near there. I know. Great skiing. Fill us in on that. And then Randy says Mountain Mike's. Yeah, Mountain Mike's is a good solid pie. It's a lot like Round Table. It's kind of a medium crust, solid toppings.
When I think of Mountain Mike's, it sounds like a place where you get freaking bikes from.
Mike's Bikes.
Yeah, I get my bikes from Mountain Mike's.
All right. Someone wants to get banned, Aaron.
I'm going to slap you if I meet you. You do know that, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to slap you in the face. Pineapple is.
Yeah.
Because I like you so much.
I love pineapple, just not on a pizza. Like a pineapple upside down cake. Oh, that's good stuff.
Oh, Sentinel. What's up, homie?
But,
thank you.
But I don't know about on a pizza. That's not for me.
And there you are.
Pie. The pie is not a thing. There you go. Mambo's Pizza. Who's heard of that? That's first for me. Where are you coming to us from? How about them Niners? Let us know. Where's Mambo?
Hey, Mambo Italiano.
I think they say pie in Chicago. Well, yeah, then it is a pie. It's in a deep dish. It's in like a pie dish. I can see.
I don't like deep dish pie.
Yeah, me
gross.
I mean, I don't hate it.
I like eating lasagna. Like, I want lasagna.
I don't hate it. Yeah, no, I like a thinner crust.
When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, it's
I don't
someone.
like pesto. I don't know, dude. I like pesto not on a pizza, but I do like
I
pesto.
don't like it.
Not
It
even
just
for pasta and
it
stuff.
has this weird like
Basil.
it's so forward with basil and like not you know what it was? My brother can cook, okay? That's why they say you never trust a skinny chef. Fat guy's always not a cook, right? I'm fat. We're all fat in my family, right? So he uh he he made this pasta and he showed my mom how to make it. Well, my mom gets the freaking funny idea to put freaking pesto in it. And I'm like, this does not taste like when my brother made it. And she's like, "Oh, I snuck some pesto in there." I'm like, awful. It's so bad. As soon as you took the fucking pesto out, next time I ate it, oh my god, it was like an Alfredo with. It was different. It wasn't as like milky wet Alfredo. It's hard to explain, but it was so good.
So Mambo's is Santa Rosa, California.
Oh, we're
From how
talking
about the
about
Niners Sentinel in the house? He says he always gets the Everest at Mountain Mike's.
all
Uh,
you West Coasters in here, man. What the
there you
frick?
go. Another one that's kind of like Round Table Mountain Mike's is North Beach Pizza. I like it a little bit better, but it's kind of
The best
similar.
pizza
That
we
sort of
got out
medium crust.
here
It's
is
got sort of
from a
like
place
thick
Guida's.
crust by the crust, but thin by the middle, right? Because there's like thin crust, there's deep dish, and then like Round Table, Mountain Mike's, and North Beach are kind of thin in the middle, thicker by the crust, which is um,
I don't like
so let's see here.
yuck, Chicago. No, yeah, it's gross.
Chicago, no. Pesto chicken sub is the bomb. Where's that from, Sentinel? Or just in general? Maybe that's just homemade.
You
I
guys,
get the.
have you ever had stuffed artichokes before?
I love gout. Some people get gout from eating certain foods. It must be something on a Pike's Peak that doesn't agree with Randy. What were you saying, Aaron? I'm sorry.
Uh, have you ever had stuffed artichokes?
Yes,
My mom
absolutely.
makes them really good. My mom makes. I love marinated artichokes. There's an Italian food that you need to try called panelli. It's made from.
Uh oh.
Uh,
Bryant says he'll slap back. I don't care how tall you are. Ooh, damn. Spicy, feisty.
oh, I meant that out of love. I'm not literally trying to injure you, but okay. Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
Laura Cat liked the singing. She said that's Amore.
Thank you. Okay. I'm gonna remember that.
Ogden, Utah. There
We're
we
gonna
go.
do. You know what we'll do. You know what we'll do. We'll do the thing from How I Met Your Mother. You're never gonna know when the slap is coming. I'm just gonna hit you out of nowhere. Bam. Yeah. Uh. Poor. He's like, I will slap you back. He's a little feisty. I don't want to mess with Brian. He might be smaller than me, but usually that means like he has no fear. That's usually how it works. Every smaller guy I talk to is like, I'm not afraid of you, dude. I'm like, well, yeah, because I'm a Goomba. Like I'm freaking goofy. Not actually gonna fight you.
Sentinel says that chicken sub is pizza and pasta in Pleasanton. So we're running out of time here. I have to bounce in a few minutes. Was there anything else that you wanted to talk about? Any burning desires? I mean,
Not
defense
really.
obviously played well.
This is a game we should win on Sunday. I really I enjoyed the game versus the Giants. I thought it showed Brock Purdy make adjustments and was able to kind of counter what they were doing. I thought Kyle said when he watched the film back, he was more impressed with what Purdy had to deal with. They blitzed the out of Purdy in that game. Like he had no time. Yeah,
Yeah, it
he
was
threw a
like a
couple.
record for the highest blitz rate. And then some other team blitzed more this weekend, though. So it didn't even last a full week. It's crazy.
Right. So I like how he keeps his cool, even if he throws almost picks. It wasn't his best game. I completely agree. But we still scored 30 points. So his guys carried him, but they should carry him because that's the definition of team sports. So maybe he'll have a game where he plays, lights out, and it is what it is. Yeah, and as far as the Cardinals go, it's just one of those things where the Niners and them might have a back and forth early, but I think the Niners will pull away at the end. They're head and shoulders better than the Cardinals. I just don't see a way where the Cardinals, unless the Niners are sleepwalking, come into Santa Clara and beat them. So
There you go. Yeah, I think so too. I think you mentioned Kittle. You thought would have a big game. I think so too. I think also Bosa is going to have a big game. I think he's maybe going to finally be into football
I
shape.
know if Breezy is making chicken pot. I don't even know what the hell that is. I'll have to ask Breezy. I hope I can have a stream with him this weekend, but I probably won't be. 85% blitz rate on a QB who played less than 11 games and still dropped 3. But let's be fair. His team helped him. I'm a
Well,
big Purdy. I'm a big Purdy
yeah.
fan, but I agree they helped him
Well, the
out.
thing
It
to
was
know about blitzing is it opens up a hot receiver, and our hot receivers were Kittle, CMC, and
that
Debo.
touchdown pass to freaking Ronnie Belvo was a legit throw.
That was
That was a
nice,
legit throw. And the
and I
one to
like the
Debo, I
touchdown
know
to
it was a little
Debo.
bit underthrown, but it was a
It was
great
nice.
back shoulder
It was.
fade.
It
So
was. Yeah, and even
the
the one to
guy,
CMC could have been better. It was still really, really good.
the guy
So
is limited. You can
yeah.
admit it and still love him. I love the crap out of Purdy. I love him a lot more than Ted does. But I'm still gonna call him out and say that he has some limitations.
I don't think it's
You
that
can
much
be a
different.
fan of a guy and
I just think we explain it differently, but I
no,
don't think it's
you
that much.
definitely you say you don't hate him, but
I don't. I
there
hate
is
the
some
hyperbole.
vitriol that comes out when you
Well,
talk
that's
about
because of
him.
the people. It's because of the homers that they
You
bring it
consider
out
me a
in.
homer with Purdy?
No, absolutely
Okay,
not.
good,
No, the
because I'm
homers are
not.
the ones saying he's better than Mahomes, better than Montana, better
No,
than
come
Brady,
on. Nobody's
better
better
than
than
Josh
Mahomes.
Allen. I mean, come on. So yeah, and I think we'll win. I don't think we'll cover, but I think I'll probably just go. I've been going 27-17. I think I'll say
Yeah,
that again this week.
yeah, that's a fair. I think they'll go 34-17, something like that. So
And bottom line sports was saying a letdown after playing over their heads against his Cowboys. I did. You probably weren't here yet. Bottom line, but I did say missing 80% of your O line is a huge thing for the Cowboys. That's the strength of the Cowboys offense. And it's not just the step down to the guy next man up on the Cowboys online. It's the continuity. And then obviously losing Diggs late in the week, no time to adjust for that. I think the Cowboys will look a lot better this week. I still
I think
consider
so
you
too.
guys to be contenders. I still think week 5 is going
I
to be a
think the
huge measuring
Cowboys
stick
throw a
for
really.
both
They have
teams.
too much talent to be bad.
I think so
I
too.
always think that their Achilles heel, unfortunately, is Dak. Just like our Achilles heel was Jimmy.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
Dak is a lot
thing
like
that's
Jimmy.
gonna the thing that could derail them, as kind of it has in the last couple of years, is Dak playing bad in bigger games. Dak is a really good quarterback, but he's also like kind of streaky. He plays
Randy
streaky.
Randy says elite for
Oh,
Brady.
Randy, stop playing.
This is what gets me
I just
fired
got
up on the
Brian.
sideline. People
Brian
like that.
left the caps, so he took the caps away. So I guess he's not mad at me anymore.
And he's right. We did talk about that. It's definitely a trap game. And whether we get trapped or not is what we'll see. But there's no doubt that some players and people will be looking ahead to the Cowboys next week with the Cardinals. Everybody thought they were tanking, but it's looking pretty clear that they are not tanking. They seem to be pulling it together for their new coach from the Eagles, and I'm blanking on his name. Their old DC,
Yeah, I know what you're
uh,
talking about.
who wasn't very inspiring in his speech. Didn't look like anybody was ready to.
Run through a
There you go.
wall.
I'm with this Sentinel. I think I think Purdy. I think his arm will probably continue to get better this season. I think his mental stuff can still improve. His accuracy. There's a lot of reasons, a lot of things to love about Purdy. That's for sure. As negative as I can be about him, and the value, you can't be negative about that. He's the best value of any NFL QB, and maybe the best value of any player in professional sports. So that helps a lot. I think if we can stay healthy, we can win the Super Bowl.
Brock is like
It's just
Moses.
that's a big if for this team. That's a big if.
We gotta beat some big contenders first before we can win that Super Bowl. So,
Dak will
and
do
it's
Dak
week
things.
freaking 4. Everybody calm their freaking butt down. This is ridiculous.
No, I don't have disdain for Purdy. It's the people that are pumping him up unnecessarily. And like I'm saying, he's not elite yet, but he could be. So he's just not elite yet. That's all. Brock is Optimus Prime of football. There you
I love
go.
Optimus Prime. He's my favorite. Parting the Red Sea for sure.
I
Boom,
just
boom,
got one. I just
boom.
got one for my son. Those little freaking things, $23. It's like barely bigger than a Hot Wheels.
I want the Optimus Prime. I asked my mom to buy it for me, even though I'm old. I'm like, Mom, can you? There's a almost $1,000 Optimus Prime toy out there that it responds to your commands. When you say Autobots roll out, and it transforms from the truck to the. I
Nice.
am a huge Optimus Prime guy. Like, if I had the money, I would collect Vader, Optimus Prime, like Superman stuff, like nerd. I'm a huge nerd. but I just don't have the money to. I would have a collection. Like I would have a whole other YouTube channel just talking nerd stuff. You know what I mean? Like Star Wars, all that kind of stuff.
Randy says when Brock's mom picked him up from the crib, he said, "This is the champion." That was the one thing about somebody said about Lance. His mom picked him up. He knew he wasn't a quarterback or something.
Oh, that's so mean. That's so.
And then
mean.
he said, "Purdy is Moses. Brock is like Moses." Part the Red Sea all the way to Vegas and beyond to get us number 6, and I'll be buying that jersey.
My birthday is December 14th. I turn 40.
Nice.
44 going on 60.
That's how you're entering the gut years. Magnum 44 and Colt 45. So
nice.
Yeah, they're good. Those are good years.
I don't get married by the time I'm 50. It is over.
Not at all.
Prime and Vader could rule the universe. Throwing skeleton. Oh, friggin', I love Vader. Vader's my favorite all-time character of anything. And then Superman's right behind him. And then Optimus Prime.
I'm 5 minutes late here, so.
All right, we're gonna get out of here, guys.
Everybody, check out TTG in my what you call it, bios. Travel Step Transportation Group, my new sponsor. Appreciate it, and I'll just say peace and go Niners.
Peace.